All right, guys. Hey, we're live for another Keeping It Real hangout, and I'm like really pumped and excited today to have Jason from Vancouver Island on. He's a newer agent, and he's going to sell 90 homes this year. So I'm like really pumped. Actually, I get even more pumped with the I don't want to say rookie, but the newer agents coming out that are on fire. Nothing gets in their way, and I think a lot of people are going to learn a lot of amazing stuff here. What do you think, Frank?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pumped. I'm really excited. So let's do a few intros. Explain, if people have never seen these hangouts, who we are, what we're doing. My name is Jeff Manson. I almost said Frank Klesitz. Anyway, my name is Jeff Manson. I'm a Hawaii real estate broker and founder of Real Geeks. And Frank Klesitz is my partner on these. He's the CEO of Viral Marketing. We would not be putting these things on if it wasn't for Frank and his team helping me out and coming together. And I think we're really helping a lot of agents. And we're getting a lot of feedback. So for all the people that send those wonderful emails or comments on the videos and stuff, I want to really thank you for reaching out to us and letting us know that it is helping you. Because it does make a difference. Sometimes these aren't always easy to put on with time constraints, and we're both busy running businesses, but it really keeps me going and Frank going when we get that positive feedback about agents telling us that, hey, I've been watching your Keeping It Reals, and man, I got this, or I got that, or I implemented this, and now I'm doing X. I mean, it's really exciting for me, and that's the reason why we actually got together to do these. So, we got that. Hey, Frank, can you let them know how, if they're just tuning in or found this on Facebook or someone shared it or something like that, how they can actually get on the list to get notified of all the upcoming ones?
We got a little website set up, keepingitreal.com. You can go check that out. And on there on the right-hand side, put your name and email in, and we'll send you email notifications. That's the only emails you're going to get if you put your information in there. Also, the Real Geeks YouTube channel, Real Geeks Facebook page, and the Real Geeks Google Plus. Google Plus, you can check us on there. Also, it's also up on iTunes, so search Real Geeks or Keep It Real on iTunes, and it'll push right to your iTunes. You can actually put video on iTunes, and you can get the video podcast that way.
Yeah, so the iTunes too. And if you're actually liking what we're doing and you've been following us for a while, feel free to share our information. Go in there to Facebook, share the stuff. Give us a review on iTunes. I think that would probably help, but we appreciate the love. When we see the love, it makes us want to keep doing these things and keep helping and bringing on guests and them sharing how they're doing business. So I want to bring Jason on here in a second. He's from Vancouver Island in an area called Nanaimo. I actually said it instead of saying Nemo. But Jason is about 30 years old. He's just got licensed last November. So he's just new to the real estate business. He's had a sales experience in the past, I think in the financial world. But through March, he's done like 27 deals, closed them pending. I don't think they call them pending in Canada, but I'm not going to get into the details about that. But either closed transactions or currently in the process under contract. First 90 days, he's done 27 deals. He's got a goal to sell 90 deals this year. It's just phenomenal, and I'm just really excited to have Jason on here. And he's got such a great mindset, and I want everyone to pay attention, because all you veterans watching, start thinking about when you're watching this, start thinking about when you were new and the excitement you had and the fears you didn't have, and start embracing that, because I think if you started at zero every day and acted as if you were a brand new agent, you'd sell a heck of a lot more real estate. You'd have a lot more fun too. You'd be excited about it instead of burnout and just like, oh my God, this person's upset, whatever. Anyway, I can keep chatting on, but hey, Jason, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited. I've been a fan for a couple of years, so this is really surreal.
Yeah, I mean, you're crushing it as a new agent. I'm curious, how did you actually get into real estate? Can you bring us through that?
Sure, yeah. So I've been, I was a bank manager for 7 years, had the comfortable, salary, the nice cushy gig. Everybody told me, you've made it, you're doing well, but I always felt like I had this piece missing. I have this entrepreneurial spirit, and I kind of felt like I was settling. But that's what people tell you to do, right? Your parents tell you, oh, you've made it, you're doing well, you made 6 figures, you know, you got the big salary, and I just wasn't happy. There was something missing. So I've been thinking about, you know, where can I really shine? And, you know, with my experience in the financial world, you know, on the other side of the transaction, I thought, you know what, I'm going to go in and crush it in real estate. Instead of just jumping in right away, I kind of spent a couple years doing some different jobs to sort of round out my skill set. I spent some time in an internet marketing company that focused on real estate. Spent some time just learning what are the best in the industry doing, where's real estate at, and then I thought, okay, it's time. Last summer I got my license, started, you know, I started the process of doing my course. I went and sold high-end cars during that process just to get myself ready for this opportunity to go and build my real estate company. Created a business plan and thought, okay, I'm going in to crush it. Like my mindset was failure's not an option. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be successful, keeping within my values. And my values are, you know, I'm very open to share anything that I'm doing. I always am looking to serve others. I have a servient mindset, and here I am, you know, and you know, I don't know any better. So a lot of people are like, oh, you're crushing it, you're doing really well, and the reality of it is, I don't know any better.
Right. So let me ask you, you know, you said you set a goal, and I was talking with you, I think it was last week or a couple weeks ago, and you set a goal for what originally?
43 deals.
43 deals. And then what made you actually up it and go to 90?
I realized I was on pace to crush that, and I always believe, you know, you need to set really high goals. You need to be uncomfortable if you want to grow. And so I thought, you know what, man, I need to set like a bigger goal where I can really push myself and where I feel the stress. You know, one of the things I don't want to be is, and I joke about this, but I don't want to be the full belly realtor that, you know, is just hand-fed, spoon-fed deals and is kind of just complacent. I don't want to be that guy. I want to be that guy that's continually pushing himself to see what I can do. You know, I have some pretty big aspirations, and I'd love to, you know, see people around me succeed. And, you know, so I basically readjusted my goals after I realized, you know what, I can do this, you know.
Awesome. So you're kind of taking the approach is like, hey, I got this one shot at life, and I'm just going to give it my all and see what I can do and push myself and keep pushing myself to see where I can actually grow and what, you know, bend myself and get out of that comfort zone.
100%. The drunken monkey that Matthew Ferry talks about, you know, that really resonated when he talked about that, and I just silenced that voice, and I'm just like, every day I try to put myself out of my comfort zone one way or another, where I'm pushing my boundaries of what I'm capable of doing, and you know, it's scary and it's fun all at the same time.
Sure. And
I live with a constant state of anxiety.
What was that?
I live with a constant state of anxiety because I'm thinking, man, I need to push myself. Every minute that I'm not giving her is a minute that I'm not hitting my goal.
That's awesome. I kind of live with that too. Like, I need to be doing something. What do I need to do? I need to be attacked. I'm not doing enough. So what kind of training have you got so far as like in the real estate related sales training, coaching? Have you done that? Have you gone, you know, because you got an awesome mindset. I mean, you do not have the mindset of a new agent or a timid agent. I mean, you may have some anxiety, may have some fears, but what kind of training are you getting, and how did you adapt that mindset?
Well, I mean, I've done a ton of research. Obviously, I watch these videos. I research some of the best coaches in the industry, and I actually hired a coach in my first week in the business, just for the fact that I wanted somebody that could hold me accountable, somebody that I could bounce things off of, because I'm an extrovert through and through. So for me, being in my own head is not the best place to be. It's having an advisor that I can go to and bounce ideas off of is hugely important. And so I got a coach early on that I could go to, and just somebody that would hold me accountable. At the end of the day, I realized that this business is all about execution. It's about action, you know, and that's really where I put my focus every day. I hired an assistant in my first month in the business, which people looked at me like I was nuts, but I realized if I could get that $20 an hour work off my plate, and I could focus on the $200, $300, $400 an hour work that I have an opportunity with, I'd be a lot more successful. So for me, that just made sense. You know, I was really focused on getting as much of that off my plate and executing on really the high income generating activities.
So let me ask you a question, because you said you hired an assistant, and that's like, oh my God, there's been agents probably in the business for 8-10 years still haven't like figured out that they probably need to get an assistant to handle that lower dollar work so they can actually work and focus on the income producing. You're a newer agent. Did you have money saved up, or did you work out a deal? Did you get creative? Because I did the same thing when I was new back, but that was like in '93. That was like, you know, eons ago. And I didn't have the money. I was just new to the real estate, and I knew this escrow rep. I still remember her name, Dana Ray, but she was actually licensed. And I said, hey, Dana Ray, I got all these listings. It was back when there were short sales, the last time before the previous time. And I said, I got all these short sales. They're bogging me down. I can't go out and get new business. I got all these things in escrow. I got all these listings. I can't pay you, but you know, I'll pay you like 20% of the, you know, of what we bring in. And she's like, hell yeah. But you know, and that's what I did. And some people will go, oh, you're crazy. But hey, I knew that if I was to stop and not pay her 20%, my growth just would have died, right? I would have been working on that. So anyway, I'm kind of blabbing, but what I like to do, I get excited. I'm like really pumped you're on here, because this is really going to help people. I really believe that. So what did you do, or how did you structure that as a new agent? Back to the question, did you have money or did you get creative?
Well, I had some credit.
Okay.
Had some credit available. Had a bit of money available, and put it this way, you know, the first couple days I was sitting there and I was thinking, oh my God, here we go, right? Sitting here, nothing on the go, and feeling like, wow, you know, I'm paying a lot of money out, and this is the real deal. Like, there's no guaranteed income anymore. Like, you need to go out there and make it happen. And I talked to one of my really close friends, and he just reminded me. He said, "Dude, you're natural. You make things happen. You're not, you know, you're not a fat pigeon. You're a hawk. You eat when you're ready, and you make things happen." He just said, get on the phones, start following up with people, and start talking to everybody that you know. And that's what I started doing. I started taking action right away. I was smart enough to realize, though, that this business is really all about the internet right now, and I think a lot of people need to get on with that. If you want to crush it in 2016, I really think you need to embrace the internet, and you know, the abilities that you can generate leads with that is just incredible. So.
Sure. We'll dive into that a little more. I want to keep diving in here, because people are probably thinking, oh my God, I can't get an assistant. So you actually were paying you pay your assistant on a salary then?
Yep. 20.
Okay.
I pay her well. I got an experienced assistant because I didn't have the experience with the transaction side of things, so I hired an experienced assistant.
And so I hired a licensed. So you hired an experienced one that could actually help you, that's probably more knowledgeable in contracts than you. So you could focus on the income producing thing, and she's actually kind of teaching you as you go along the little things that you need to know about the contracts too, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I've learned so much from her. She's got a lot of experience, and you know, I'm fortunate to have an awesome managing broker, and you know, I've got some good mentors that I look up to. But again, having that experienced assistant was a huge thing for me, and has been tremendous in my growth for sure.
Right, and then you got the coach. Do you want to share? Are you still being coached, or?
Yeah. We do a bi-weekly coaching session, just an hour every couple of weeks, and then you know, we'll do a 15-minute check-in here and there.
And who is that coach? Let's give that person a little bit of credit.
Actually, Braden Wheatcroft. He was my realtor. He's actually the first realtor that I dealt with where he actually exceeded my expectations as a client. I've purchased real estate throughout my life, and he's the one guy that really understood the importance of follow-up and keeping relationships and staying in touch with people, and he really impressed me. He's actually younger than me, if you can believe it or not, but he's built a successful real estate business, and it's all by referral, which was interesting because you know, I pride myself on being the internet guy, and there's lots of opportunity that I create from that, but I'm adding the referral side of the business with it, and it's been pretty cool, and you know, I think we've been able to learn from each other.
All right, well, great. So let's start breaking down, like, you know, what you're doing to generate these leads in this business. I think, where are you year to date? I think right before the call you said, was it 30?
Yeah. So right now, I mean, I've got 27 transactions that you know are subject removed or paid, and then 3 that are going to be subject removals after tomorrow. So 30 total. I've got huge.
So you're a third of the way of your goal after just after the first quarter. because we're just getting into it. So you're probably going to have to raise your goal, or you're going to become that fat complacent agent.
No, I can't do it. I can't be the full belly realtor. It's just not in my DNA at this point. I mean, I think 90s. I think 90's the goal. Let's stick with that. Let's just keep pushing towards it. If we exceed it, fantastic. If I don't quite hit it, but I had a great year and I've established a company, then I'm going to be happy with that. But I know that I'm going to leave everything on the table. And, you know, when December 31st hits, I can look back and say that I put it all on the line and I did my best to serve my clients and grow my business. So that's...
Yeah, I mean, that's all you can do. Whether you exceed your goal, hit your goal, or come up short, if you know that you put forth a plan and you're doing everything you can, you should be happy. Look at what you learned and move on. I'm talking to everybody out there. Some people are afraid to stretch a little bit or do this goal because just in case they don't get it, they might look bad. That's your ego talking when you're worried about looking bad. It really is your ego. So, you know, don't be afraid. You know, just go for it. Set a bar, stretch a little bit. And as long as you give it your all, you have nothing to be ashamed of if you give it your all every day, right?
100%.
All right, cool. So what are you doing to get, or let's break down what you've got from, you know, what's it? You probably keep track of your numbers, right? You sound like a goal-oriented guy, so you probably know your numbers, what each of those sources are, what those represent. Let's break those down, and then once we break those down, can you maybe write those down, Frank? So that way we can then dive into each of those sources, how he's generating those, how are you getting that business, what are you doing, what are you saying? I want to go in deep.
Sure.
I want to go in deep in every one of these, okay? Because I think a lot of people can learn from you, a new agent. So that's why I was so excited to have you on.
Cool. Well, so my number one source for business right now is internet leads. The stuff that people complain about, that say that doesn't work, they're too hard, that's a waste of time, waste of money. I love hearing that. I hear mega agents say that to me all the time, and I think, wow, like, there's gold there. Those are people that are actively looking. They're going to be buying at some point. A lot of buyers are sellers hidden in disguise as buyers, and I've gotten listings and I've closed deals from them. So I've closed already, of the 30, I've closed 10 internet leads.
Okay.
8 are referrals from my mortgage partners. One of the things that I really try to do is I try to find opportunities to feed my mortgage partners because they help me get my clients approved, get them the best rates and terms, and because I know that business so well from doing it for 11 years, that's a huge source of business for me. So I'm constantly looking for ways to provide them opportunities, and in turn,
so that was 8 from referral partners.
Yeah. So just my mortgage partners.
All right, great. We're gonna dive into each one of these categories. I just want to break it down so we have some percentage. So you got 18. So where are the other ones coming from?
So 6 are from friends and family.
Okay. So SOI, COI.
Yep. 3 are client referrals. So people that I've done deals with already have referred me people.
So you're getting past client referrals, PC referrals.
And 2 of the closed deals are referrals from other agents in other markets. And actually, I got a listing from an agent that I had negotiated on a property against. It's about an hour outside of my community. I'd helped some clients. They were internet lead clients, and I'd helped them buy a property from her. And she was so impressed with my ability to negotiate that she referred me clients here, and I sold a $411,000 home. And she basically, I just had to pay her a referral fee. So that's kind of cool. I didn't realize the power of referrals from other realtors in other markets. So that's something I'm starting to spend a little more time on.
Oh yeah, that's great. Well, hopefully you're going to get some referrals. People are going to watch this, and you're the guy in Nanaimo. I said it right again. I'm proud of myself. In Vancouver Island. So hopefully you're going to get a lot of referrals from this. They're going to watch this and go, oh my God, that Jason guy he's amazing. I want to refer him business. But
you're not spending much money on marketing at all, then, are you?
I am spending money on marketing, so I spend probably...
Hold on. Can we go back to that, Frank? So are there any other sources of business that you're getting?
My assistant has referred me 2 deals so far that have closed as well. And then I have a huge list of buyers that I'm actively working with, and you know, several listing opportunities coming up. So for me, I'm obsessed with having a pipeline on the go, and that's where my website is so critical in this business. So anyways, that's probably something you want to talk about down the road.
Yeah. So of all these 30, how many represent buyers and how many represent sellers? I'm just trying to break down so people can see your whole business.
22 buyers, 8 sellers.
All right. So you got what, about a third?
Yep.
Is that close? 25, 27%, something like that. So sellers, okay. So 22 buyers, and then you're still getting listings too, right?
Yeah, I have 5 active listings right now.
And you got 5 active listings. So how are you generating those sellers? Let's dive into the sellers. Everyone wants sellers. Let's break those down.
Referrals. You know, asking for the opportunity. I do. One of the things I wanted to do is do something different than the bus benches that everybody does. You know, I'm like, that's been done, and I want to do something different. So I do a bi-weekly video every 2 weeks that I have produced, and I boost that on Facebook, so it goes out to my friends and their friends, and I just every 2 weeks I'll put out a new video, and I just try to have items of value.
That sounds like a great plan, Jason. Where did you maybe learn that from?
It's the same thing. It's the same thing Frank offers. So awesome.
It works. I got a listing from it the other day. I've gotten 3 different buyers that I'm working with from it. From that listing, I've already gotten 2 other listing referral opportunities that I'm going to be doing market analysis for. So it's starting to pick up. And what it's also done is people that maybe I haven't talked to in a long time, but that know me, that are thinking real estate, are calling me and reaching out to me and saying, hey, we're thinking about buying or thinking about selling. And so it's a kind of a nice top of mind piece. So for me, that's worth it.
So you're boosting those videos on Facebook to the people you know and all that. And then are you emailing them to your database as well?
Yeah, that's something that I have done, and I paused that for a while just because our laws are a little stricter in Canada with anti-spamming, and so I've just wanted to tighten that up a little bit just to make sure that I don't get any complaints or anything like that. So, but definitely it's part of the plan. I just want to research that a little bit more before I blast that out to my database.
Sure. And are you getting any of those listings or sellers from the internet? Because I know you said the internet's really working for you.
Yeah. So I've had of the eight listings sold, two of them were internet leads, and then one of my listings right now is also an internet lead. And
so let's break down how you got that, because a lot of people say, oh, internet leads, they're just buyers, but I don't think they're asking the right questions. But I want to find out that process and how you were able to get those listings, what you're saying, how it came in. Let's dive in deep, because people want to know, and you know, they got to know. Sometimes people got to really hear the exact how it happened, then they'll believe, and then they'll actually start happening for them.
Sure. So the key is just the open-ended questions. So, you know, when a lead registers on my website, I've got my headset on, you know, I'm calling that lead. I try to call it right away. I admit that I'm not always perfect on that, something that I'm working on. When I make contact, what I try to do is I try to understand what they're looking to do. So, you know, how long have you been looking for a home? What areas are you looking in? You know, what's your timeline? And then the key question that really works is, now in order to buy your next home, do you have a home you'll need to sell first? Mm-hmm. And then I just listen. And you just wait for their response. And it's amazing what they can open up and tell you. And so they're going to let you know, well, yeah, we have a home that we're thinking of selling. And so what I'll do is, instead of acting on it right there like most people do, is I'll keep the conversation going so I can continue to build the comfort and the rapport. And then I'll circle back to that, you know. So Jeff, you mentioned that you're thinking about selling your home.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit more about your home, and then I'll explore that further. And then basically, you know, it's just about selling yourself, right? At the end of the day, I truly believe that I'm one of the hardest workers in my business. I'm willing to work really hard. I put a lot of focus on putting a strong marketing plan for people, and I love an interview. That's basically what I ask for. Is I love the opportunity to interview and show you why I'm different.
Sure.
And it works. I mean, I've gotten some deals from it. So you just got to ask, but you got to do it at the right time. You can't do it too early in the process.
Yeah, and I think part of the problem is I've asked some customers, And they're like, well, I haven't been able to get any sellers. Da, da, da. I don't know how people are doing. And I said, well, what do you do? And they say, well, I asked them, do you have a home to sell? And it's like that? And they're like, yeah, like that. I'm like, well, that's part of the problem. You're coming off as like a desperate salesperson. Like, why not ask them something like, I'm curious, Jason, are you currently renting right now, or do you own your home? You ask stuff like that. I'm trying to help the audience here. I know you got it down pretty good, but you ask a question like that, and now you're playing with their ego a little bit, because if they're a homeowner, they're proud, right? They're not gonna say, well, I rent. They're gonna like, well, I own my home. Oh, okay, great. And then you go into that question like you were asking. Is that something you're gonna have to sell to get to the next one, or are you gonna be able to hold on to that as a real estate investment? Give them some credit, like they might be able to do that, play that, and they'll open up, because then you're not sounding like a desperate salesperson.
Totally.
Wouldn't you agree?
I completely agree, and actually some of the referrals that I've gotten from other agents are because I asked the questions to out-of-town buyers. They let me know that they are planning on selling, and then what I do is I say, hey, I actually know some amazing agents in your market that I think could really help bring value to that home sale process. Why don't I get them to give you a call and just at least give you an idea of what it could sell? And so by me starting that relationship with those realtors, and then I'll research and I'll ask my peers who's a good realtor in that market. I'm handing them an opportunity. I can get a referral fee, but then of course I'm going to leverage that and say, hey, look, if you have anybody in my market, I'd be honored to help them and do the same thing that you're doing for my clients. And that's how I've been able to leverage. So everything is an opportunity, and I think people need to think beyond what's in front of them and always think there's way more below the surface, or you can leverage any scenario to your benefit and theirs.
Yeah, I mean, you just nailed it, because I remember when I was young, when I first got in the business, it wasn't just I'm just going to work the expires. Everything was an opportunity. I was so attuned and so focused and so excited to be in real estate and be helping people, that I was so excited to let everybody know I was a real estate agent and what have you, but you never know when that opportunity. So if you're open to opportunity in all places and just open to it coming, it will come, and it'll jump, and you got to just jump on that opportunity.
100%. And people have no patience nowadays. I got a referral the other day from a good client of mine, and I was with a client. It was like 3 hours by the time I was able to call the person back. He already was in the car with another realtor because he couldn't wait. So one thing I'll tell people, the game has changed, and I know as realtors we need to manage our schedules and have balance, and hopefully one day I can figure that out, but I just try to serve my clients quickly, because I realize that they have no attention span and people have no patience nowadays, so I try to get on things quickly.
I would agree 100%, because with the internet, you said earlier on, the internet is everything, and everything is mobile too. So it's important to have everything mobile optimized. But they're on their phone, and their attention, everything, the Facebook's dinging, the Instagram, whatever, the text, everything, and they want instant response, instant gratification. Are you using the automated SMS feature?
Yeah, love that. I've actually got some good dialogue. I've gotten some opportunities from that, just from the texting. And one of the stats that I researched, I think it's 98% of text messages get read.
Yes.
I think it's like 24% of emails get read. So, obviously you need to call and talk to people, because you hard to tell if you don't talk to people or book appointments. But texting is way more effective, in my opinion, than an email. So I do mix all three of them. I love the video emails, especially early on when I was kind of getting going. I was using the video emails because I had a little more time, and that was incredible. I had people say, "Wow, I've never seen that before. That's really a neat way."
What service did you use?
BombBomb.
Yeah, BombBomb. Yeah, and we have it all integrated in there too, so that works well. Are you okay?
That's something I need to integrate into my site, because I just go into my BombBomb account and do it. But if it integrates with Real Geeks, that's even better.
Oh, it integrates right in there, and also in all the activity, it shows we have everything coming in. If they open it, if they view it, all that activity actually comes into that detailed lead activity. So you have it all there.
I love it.
So we're going down that path, and then so the referrals. So what do you? Okay, and then the internet stuff. You said internet. What are you doing for the internet? How are you generating? How are you following up? What are you saying to them? Because you got 22 deals, and a good part. No, 10 of them are from internet, right? Yeah. 22 buyers, 10 are from internet. I can't read my own notes.
Well, here's the thing that I know about internet leads. It's about a 6 to 8 month gestation period with the average internet lead, right? So the fact that I've already, in say 4 months in the business, or just over 4 months, have 10 of them closed, I think that says something about the follow-up and the conversion piece. But my pipeline right now is huge. I'd say probably 70–80% of my pipeline is my internet leads. So anybody that gets into the internet lead game, you have to be patient. You have to understand that it's a longer gestation period, and you need to be persistent and not give up. You need to be that person that stands out in their mind. So what I do is most of it is Google AdWords, to be honest. And what's great about Google AdWords, if you hire, I don't do any of it myself, because at the end of the day, to me, that's a $20 activity that I could hire somebody else to do. That I don't have to go and spend the time to do, which is worth the money for me. So I just do Google AdWord campaigns, and then I tell them we'll meet once a month and we'll just discuss, okay, what do we want to focus on? So for my market right now, our prices have been quite low relative to communities outside of Vancouver Island. So I started targeting out-of-town buyers through my Google AdWords campaign. And so I told my campaign manager, I really only want you to focus on out-of-town buyers. And so a couple reasons for that. Number one, out-of-town buyers probably don't have an agent connection in our community. So I can stand out right away. I can get opportunities right away. And if they're coming here, they're here specifically for a reason, right? And being that I'm born and raised here on Vancouver Island and I know the market well, I could be a really good resource for them. So Google AdWords, it's worth the money. I think my average cost per lead is like $8.40 or something like that for a lead. And at the end of the day, I spend about $30 a day on Google AdWords.
So about $900 a month.
$900 a month, and then of course there's the cost of getting it managed. I pay a company to manage that for me, but that probably costs me, I don't know, $500 on average.
So how much did you say? $8 a lead average?
I think it was $8.46. It fluctuates, but it's usually in the
of course.
range.
All right, so you're getting about 107 leads a month based on those figures.
I'm actually getting more than that, because there's also the organic leads that I'm starting to get, because I have a guy doing SEO, so he's doing blogs and search engine optimization. Again, that's not my expertise, so I hire somebody that's really good and credible to do that for me.
Well, how long's your site been up and you're already getting SEO?
Yeah, I'm already getting some organic leads. I think last month we had about 175 leads. My site's been up since November, December, I guess, probably December, early December.
All right, and then are you doing anything special on that, or you're just creating community pages and some unique content, and then have the guys? It's not just that. Let me back up. I don't want anyone to think that, because some people think they listen to these guys that like, hey, just get a blog and add content. Content's king, and you're gonna rank. That's just full of shit, and they're selling you something.
Yeah.
Let me repeat that again. They're full of BS, and they're selling you something if that's all they're saying, because you got to build site authority. So he hired an SEO guy, but so you're building out, like, how many pages on your website?
I just got all the main community pages in the areas that I serve built from the beginning.
So maybe what, 15, 20?
Yeah, probably about 15, 20. And that's awesome. It. And he's just constantly blogging, and then my videos get put on my website. When we put a new listing, we try to get a blog post done up with unique content on the listing before it hits the market. And this, I just try to have really strong exposure. When I put a listing out, I really try to make sure I have professional photographies, video, anything that'll drive more attention and bring in more leads. So in Canada, we have Realtor.ca is like our big thing in Canada, outside of like our main websites that we can get ourselves. And I get some leads from that on my listing. So I just try to make sure that everything online is like top notch.
Okay, all right, and you have an SEO guy, not just blogging, probably building some inbound links and some site authority, social signals, that kind of thing.
I hope so. I don't know.
Well, he must be, because you can't just add content and with no authority and start ranking. So that's great. Good for you. That happened quickly, and So you're doing the PPC, the leads are coming in, and then when these leads come in, what on the website, explain exactly what's happening. You know, even like the text or what happens and what's your procedure, and then just go over what you do.
So I mean, in a perfect world, this is how it happens. You know,
Sure.
lead registers, they get a phone call within 5 minutes or less, because that's what I've researched and that's what they say. So I try to hit them with that first. They get the autoresponder text within 2 minutes.
So you're running a delay on that then? You're not doing it immediate?
Yeah, I run a 2-minute delay. I've kind of played with it, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, but you know, I'll get hit with that. Then if I don't get a hold of them, the goal is to try back 15 minutes later, and I don't leave a message on the first attempt.
Okay.
And so sometimes that'll actually initiate a call back.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I learned that through Dirk Zeller, actually through one of your mastermind sessions, and it works actually. I mean, not every time, but definitely has worked for me.
Do you do the if you get the voicemail, hang up, wait a second, and call back too?
I don't do that. I wait the 15 minutes, or I wait and I try again later, because I don't want to seem like I'm a collections agent.
Yeah, because a lot of guys are doing it. I think Greg Harrelson mentioned that they have a lot of success when they do that on one of these hangouts.
Okay. Well, I'm up for trying it, that's for sure.
Right.
Bomb videos, so if I can't get a hold of them, I'll send them a bomb video. If I had a bad phone number, I send them a bomb video, and I just try to personalize it.
All right.
And then,
all right, so you're going to build that. So you're already thinking ahead of like, hey, I got to build this thing up, and I want to just conquer.
Oh yeah, like I mean, I want to be able to not only just change my family's life, but you know, the people that work within my organization, I want them to be able to have incredible, you know, lifestyles and achieve some of the financial goals that they have. And yeah, absolutely, and I'm smart enough to know what I'm really good at and also what I'm really bad at, and so I've tried to build a business around my strengths, so I can spend. And this is something I see too many realtors that are jack of all trades. They try to be good at everything, and you know, I still don't understand people that take their own photos. I still don't understand people that go and measure their own listings. I don't get it. I don't understand why people are obsessed with doing their own paperwork and trying to micromanage everything. Focus on selling appointments, prospecting, getting in front of people, exceed their expectations, and then delegate off the other stuff. So for me, our whole team philosophy is work within your strengths. If you do that, you'll be very successful.
Right. You've been paying attention, I can tell. Because Jason told me that he was watched these since day one, right? Once he got licensed.
The last couple of years, I've been watching these hangouts. I mean, this is such an amazing way for agents to just learn. I mean, every time it either reinforces something that I already know and reminds me that I need to be doing it, or I pick up a new piece of information that I can walk away with. And I think too many people have a scarcity mindset. They think, oh, you know what? By sharing what I'm doing, that's going to make my business more difficult. Whereas I think completely different. I'm open to sharing. I'd love to have people come and pick my brain and say, hey, what are you doing? And then have the opportunity for me to pick their brain. So, you know, I think as realtors, we got to stop thinking that we're in competition and really think about how we can help each other grow our businesses and be successful. So yeah, I want to be around successful people. I picked the brokerage that I picked. I didn't interview any other brokerage. I came here specifically because it had all the top agents in my community, and they had a dominant market share. And I thought, hey, I want to be surrounded by successful people that I look up to, that I can learn from, and hopefully we can learn from each other. And you know,
that's awesome. That's awesome. You did. I did that the same thing. I went to Remax North Orange County when I first got in the business. It was in Orange County. And I was lucky enough to be a title rep, calling on all the different realtors, and I saw who was doing all the business, who wasn't. I was listening to the Mike Ferry tapes. I did that for a long time, and you know, I was trying to tell these agents, like, hey, I'm listening to these tapes. You should be calling expireds. You should be doing this, and they all told me how it didn't work. And I'm like, oh my God! But I see these other agents doing it, and yeah, I think we just lost Frank, but that's okay. I think we're still on. So. I'm hoping we're still on. So yeah, you know, these agents would tell me how it wouldn't work, and then I'm like, this is crazy. I'm trying to get business from these people, trying to help them out, and they're telling me how it's not going to work. I'm just going to go do it and execute, right? But back to the office, I went into this Remax office because they had all these guys that were aggressively calling expired listings, FSBOs, and all that, and we were all friends. and we'd have competitions and stuff like that among us. We'd compete hard, but at the end of the day, we'd go have a beer together and share. We'd, share what each other's doing. It made us all stronger, right? And we all could help each other. So I think that's an awesome philosophy to follow. I think if you give, you're going to get a lot back, right?
Totally. I mean, I can attribute a lot of my success to just being able to mentor other people, watch these sort of videos, watch some of the coaches share. I mean, there's so much free information right now on the internet that, there's no reason why somebody couldn't build a successful real estate business. You just have to be willing to take big action and have big thinking, and that's what I just decided to do when I joined the business. I wasn't messing around.
Right. Yeah, and so we kind of I think we got a little off track, but it's probably a good thing.
That happens.
People will get off that. So the buyer comes in, you do all that. So let's say you get a hold of them. What do you say to them? I mean, what's your shtick? What's your script? Whatever, I mean, we all got a script. What we go through, Some people want to act like they don't have a script. They say the same dang thing every time. So what's your deal, and how do you approach that?
So the first thing, it sounds ridiculous, but it's super powerful on the phone, is I smile before I call, and I just start laughing to myself a little bit, and that actually comes through the phone call. And I notice that people start kind of the tone smiling in the phone call as well. And I just basically will introduce myself, let them know where I'm from, thank them, bring tons of energy and enthusiasm, because that's the thing with the phones. You cannot have a monotone voice on the phone, because you won't have the opportunity to even talk for more than 10 seconds. You got to come in with energy, enthusiasm. You have to be engaging, and then ask good open-ended questions where you can basically get them to start talking. So the sooner I can get them talking and opening up, the more comfortable they get and the nicer the flow. So it's just about good open-ended questions. So,
All right, so call me, Jason.
Okay, so you answer the phone.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, is this Jeff?
Yeah, this is Jeff. Who's this?
Jeff, this is Jason from Remax in Nanaimo. I actually want to thank you for checking out my website, simsrealestate.ca. Hey, I'm curious, Jeff, how long have you been looking for a home?
Yeah, we've been just looking for, I don't know, about 2-3 months.
Oh, that's exciting. So you've been in the process for a little while. Tell me, what are some of the homes that you've seen that you really like?
We like the ones over there on the lake, We want to be on the lake. We got all these kids, and, we want to be able to, to just, be able to go and enjoy the lake.
Oh, man, I love the lake. So that we have a couple lakes in our community. Which lake are you talking about?
I don't know, the Lake Vancouver.
Perfect. So, I mean, you kind of get the gist, but I'll keep asking open-ended questions. Eventually, we'll find out the type of home that they're looking for, timeline. A lot of people say, "Oh, we're just looking." I say that's fantastic. Actually, most people are on my site looking, and I've got clients that are a month away. I've got clients that are 2 years away. Ultimately, though, I'm curious, when you do move, what areas are you looking? And you just kind of keep
rolling on it. Yeah, I was going to give you the I'm just looking, but you actually kind of you hit me with what are you looking for at the beginning, and that took that away from me. But yeah, so a lot of people, they get that reflex. No, if they don't know you, they're going to give you something like I'm just looking, or I'm just curious. We're not really ready to buy yet, and you just keep chugging. You say, oh, okay, great. You take that and roll it into something else. Correct?
Yeah, and actually, one of my actually got 2 sales from this particular internet lead. I called her at work, and she said, I'm at work right now, and she was like really short with me, and I said, I started laughing. I said, great, so you're actually getting paid to talk to me right now? And I just laughed when I said it, and she's like, yeah, I never thought of that. And then we talked for like 15-20 minutes. I followed up with her for like 3 weeks because it was right near Christmas, and then booked an appointment the first week of January, got the listing, sold the house within 2 days, and then found them a house within like 3 weeks of actually meeting them and getting that whole thing done. So, you can't, an objection is just that. It's an objection, and it should be overcome, and you shouldn't give up on 1 no, 2 no's, 3 no's. Like, you gotta keep trying and keep digging. Otherwise, you're not going to have the same level of success. So, if you're the type of person that, is intimidated by that, start practicing, find an accountability partner and start practicing and get over that. But if you can overcome those objections, you can do incredibly well with internet leads. Like, it's a gold mine. The amount of leads that I have coming in, I have consistent source of business all the time that I can be working. So
So what are you doing? Okay, so you get a hold of them, and then you kind of qualify them, and then you follow them up probably accordingly based on your conversation. So
Yep.
what about the ones you don't get a hold of? That you send the text, they may or may not respond to the text. A lot of people do respond. You'll probably obviously try to use the text to get into a conversation, because you know and I know the best way to win over a client is actually talk to them.
Yep.
You know, I wanted to say belly to belly, but phone to phone or whatever, you know. So
Yep.
actually communicate with them. But what about the ones that they didn't reply back? You know, maybe they were at work, they couldn't text back, or they didn't reply back. What's that look like? How are you handling those?
Well, I mean, persistence is key. So one of the stats that I researched is that I think it's 6 to 8 attempts are what's needed to make contact with an internet lead, and the average agent is like attempting 1.2 times. So knowing that, you got to use multiple approaches, and you got to sort of stagger it over, you know, a week or 2 weeks, and just try different approaches. So try the phone, try texting, try social media, try bomb videos, whatever it is, but try different angles. And eventually, if you keep persisting, they're either going to get you're going to get a restraining order against you, which I haven't had yet,
which is okay.
Yeah, which is fine. Then I know I'm doing my job. Or number two, they're going to say, oh, you know what, I've been meaning to talk to you. And it's just about timing. Sometimes people put you off, and then all of a sudden the timing is there and you called. Whereas if you'd given up, you wouldn't have got that opportunity. And I think that's where a lot of people don't do well with internet leads, I believe, is because they don't persist long enough and they give up too soon.
Everybody gives up too soon. It's amazing. They're very impatient to get that lead or whatever, but they're not very patient or persistent on following up, and they spent money, and it's amazing that they give up so quick, or try, or take one little reflex no, and they give up, and they run with their tail between their legs. So are you doing any of the best practices that I lay out in the docs, like following up on people that you haven't communicated in a while, that have favorited properties, or they're coming back active on the website? Are you using those advanced features in the lead manager to do some of those behavioral follow-ups?
I'll be honest, I've recently been transitioning to the Real Geek CRM system, so I can't say that I'm a pro with it. You know, I was using Boss, which is a good CRM system, but my new agent or my future agent that started, he's been using the Real Geek CRM and is really finding it helpful. So I've decided, okay, let's transition our book to that. And ultimately, I can't say that I've implemented all of them, but I do know that using different follow-up methods is very critical to conversion success, and just persisting, not giving up. And we do actually, every day, we prioritize our calls based on search patterns. So if somebody's been favoriting properties, that's a perfect cue for us to call them.
So you are doing it. You are doing it. If they're based on advanced search features, if they're favoring properties or whatever. So you are using those advanced.
Yeah, absolutely. Those cues are huge.
Okay. All right. Good. All right, Frank, what questions do you have? I've been asking all the questions. Sorry, Frank. I've been kind of hogging I've been so excited. I've been hogging the conversation. Frank's just been like cruising along.
No, it's been incredible. This is what you guys are just killing it. I have nothing to add. It's okay. Couple questions. I think earlier back, Jay asks, is he advertising on Facebook or through search engines to drive traffic to his website? Why don't you just give us a little breakdown of the money you spend on AdWords and Facebook and the ads that you run, and kind of the difference between the two?
Sure. So I haven't done a lot of lead generation through Facebook, where you're sending people to a squeeze listing page kind of thing. I haven't done that yet. It is on my list. I've had too many leads to follow up with, so right now I'm trying to get systems in place so we can handle that before we scale to the next level. However, what I would say that I have done is I'm using social media to sort of showcase new listings, and I'll boost those out, and I'll target audiences that I'm looking to target. So if I have a property that I think would cater to an out-of-town buyer, then I will run ads specifically targeting those out-of-town buyers, and that's been a good way to sort of get leads as well. So don't discount the boosting.
Are you using the property landing pages when you're doing that, or you're just letting them view the property?
No, I get professional videos done on my listings. And
okay, perfect. Okay.
That's what I'll boost. But I do want to pick your brain, Jeff, and learn more about how I can get more leads through the website using Facebook.
Yeah,
So,
we have that new tool too, so it's going to be fantastic.
yeah, well, I can't wait. Like, I mean, I would love to be able to use that tool.
All right, so he's doing that, and he's doing Google AdWords PPC. And what was about? He was spending $30 a day on that, about approximately $900 a month on the ad spend.
Yeah.
And he was getting $8 leads. Any other good questions, Frank?
Yeah, back to building out your Real Geek site. Like, built it out like an SEO guy. Like, you have to come up with all this custom content for all these communities. I mean, who does that?
I basically I gave them the communities. I said, here's the communities that I serve, and I said, you know, you guys, I can't be focusing my time on this stuff. I need to be out prospecting, selling, doing what I do. So I just hired a good professional that's credible, that's worked with other successful agents, and I gave them, you know, the areas that I wanted, and they did the research and they created the pages. I mean, I see agents spending hours and hours and hours doing content pages and blogging and all sorts of stuff, and you have to understand that's not the best use of your time as a realtor. We have the opportunity to make $200, $300, $400, $500 per hour. If you can pay somebody $20, $30 an hour to do that kind of work, that's money well spent. So I think too many people focus on the pennies, and they're really missing out on the dollars.
I always say that all the time. You know, they're stepping over $100 bills to pick up a few pennies.
Yeah,
We're not seeing the big picture, actually.
Yeah, it's okay to spend money in this business. As a realtor, I knew coming in that I'd be writing a lot of checks, and you know, they're starting to come back to me tenfold. So it is part of it. It's just about putting the money in the smart areas. You know, I think an assistant is a good investment if you have confidence in your ability to generate leads and put your time in converting those. I think hiring a professional that can target Google AdWords for you and drive the kind of leads and traffic you're looking for, I think that makes sense. Get a great website. Don't cheap out. You know, there's only a handful of really good companies that I've researched that do a really good job when it comes to internet lead generation. Research those, find one of those companies, and don't cut corners. You know, too many people try to cut corners, and really they end up losing money in the end, I think.
Yeah, totally. I would agree. Preaching to the choir here. So I have a question for you, Jason. So you've got this train running. You're steamrolling down. You've got all these plans. What are you going to put in place to keep you focused? You've kind of been explaining it, and what are you planning on doing to take it to the next level? I know this is a whole new level, and doing 90 your first year is amazing, okay? But are you thinking like that, or you're thinking, you know, because you're saying it, you got to stay focused on the income producing stuff. So what are you putting in place now to help you so you don't so you don't get distracted?
Sure. So I mean, from all the books that I've read and the research that I've done, the number one thing that you need to be a successful real estate company is leads. So I've made the investment from day one in lead generation because I see the value in that. So I'm constantly driving my lead generation. The next thing is you need to be able to leverage, because I'm only one person. I can only do so much. That's why I brought somebody that's going to become a buyer's agent on the team early on in the process. For me, sure, reinvesting a lot of the profits that I'm making back into the business, because I have a long-term goal. I do want to build a company that I can be a true CEO to. Sure. Having admin professionals in place to make sure the administration is done is huge, and then really just expanding the team where I'm adding proper agents. I mean, I have some huge ambitions, which, you know, I'm not even going to go into on this call, but I mean, I'd love to build one of the top real estate teams in Canada. And, you know, if that happens, fantastic. If it doesn't, I can tell you we'll have a very good, thriving business, you know, and so I'm just trying to lay the foundation to that, and my focus is my first agent. I want to help him do over 40 deals in his first year. That's my first focus. The second will be, okay, adding our next agent by the end of the year. I want to get him on that same path, and it's just sort of scaling and then systemizing. I'm trying to slow down right now and put systems in place so there's a blueprint to success with what we're doing. Slowing down and this is where my coach helps me, is slowing down what's working, what's not working, and then where can we make adjustments. So it's hard, though, when you're going 100 miles a minute, which is this pace that I like to go. It's hard to slow down and do those things, but I think it's worth it. It's kind of taking a small step backwards to take several forwards.
Sure. Yeah, okay, I think you get it. You know, and when you said that and you brought on this new guy, I was thinking of the hangout we did with Tim Heil. Did you watch that one?
I believe so, yeah.
And what he did is when he would train these people, he would do I do, we do, they do. I think that's an amazing concept. So in other words, they sit there and watch you do, and then you guys do it together, and then they do it, and then you you know, do some constructive criticism and coaching and stuff like that when you bring people on.
Absolutely.
Like Colin and stuff. So I that just, you know, I just wanted to bring that up. It sounded or it reminded me of that hangout. Hey Frank, what other closing questions do we have? Because we're running up against the hour here.
Yep.
Jason's been amazing.
You've been amazing, Jason. You're gonna do very well.
I appreciate it.
So Kenneth asks, who shoots his videos for BombBomb? Does Jason edit them himself?
My BombBomb videos are just done from my MacBook Pro. You know, there's no editing on that. When it comes to my personalized videos, I actually have a good friend of mine who's a videographer, and he edits my videos for me. So we'll once a month we get together. In about an hour we'll do 2 videos. We'll pick different topics, and then he'll go and he'll edit those videos. And then every 2 weeks we'll have a new video that goes out, and we just change up the topics. Just trying to provide value. So that, you know, if people are thinking of buying, selling, or whatever, they're going to maybe be thinking of me, and hopefully they can get a piece of information from those videos that's valuable. And if anything, it just keeps me top of mind. You know, with the boost, we're getting about 4,000 views per video, and you know, again, we're starting to now see people reaching out. You know, hey, I've been watching your videos. We're thinking about buying, and it's been really helpful. You know, we want to meet with you, and these are people I've never met before. So it's starting to pay off, and it's something that, you know, at first I was like, oh, I don't know if this is going to work, but I've just stayed consistent, and I'm now starting to see the rewards. So it's something I'm definitely going to stick with.
Yeah, and just so you guys know, whoever's watching these, that's what Frank's company does, Viral Marketing. They help agents create a couple videos a month and send them out to their database and help them market them. And then if you're a Real Geeks customer, they'll put them on your Real Geeks blog, drive them back. So that way, after they watch the video on the blog, they got the home valuation tool, the property search to start engaging. You're bringing them to your website, so now they watch that, and now they can start engaging on your website, hopefully. Any other closing thoughts you want to ask Jason before we go? What I would like to do is, Jason, what I want to do is I want to have you on at the end of the year or first of next year or somewhere in the 4th quarter to kind of see where you're going and what your next plans are, because I want to have you on as a returning guest, because I know you're going to blow it up. So I want to have a return cameo or visit from you if you'll agree to that. I think it would be amazing.
Absolutely, I'd love to, and you know, hopefully somebody gets one piece of information they can take away that helps them in their business. You know, at the end of the day, I know I get a lot just from watching other successful people, and you know, I'm only just scraping the surface. I am a rookie at this. However, you know, I did come in with a plan, and I thought big, and you know, I'm starting to see that thinking big does actually work. And you know, it's all about action. At the end of the day, if you're sitting on the fence, you're like, oh, I don't know what I should do. Just take huge levels of action, and you can't fail at anything, really.
Yeah, and I think it like you said, it's about thinking big and actually believing you can accomplish it. You got to buy into something first. You can't go in and try and do something, and then in your mind you're telling yourself, oh, I don't know if I can do this. You got to actually believe it and just go for it. And if you fail, you fail. You get 3/4 of the way of a big plan or a big goal. That's amazing. But it's better than, you know, going in timid. Don't even do something if you're not going to go for it. Don't do it. Totally. In my mind, I mean, go find something else to go for. You know, you get one shot at life. I mean, in general. I mean, you get a lot of shots within life, but you get one shot at life. I mean, you just got to go for it. If you got to get passionate about something in life, find something you want to do, and just frickin' charge, you know, full throttle.
I couldn't agree more. You know, I'm very lucky. I love what I do every day. Like, I get up and I'm excited to do what I'm doing, and I think people feel that. Clients feel that. Hopefully my staff are starting to feel that. And yeah, I mean, just go in with a huge level of enthusiasm. One of my favorite quotes that I live by is, nothing great has ever been achieved without enthusiasm. And I truly believe that. And one of the things that attracted me, Jeff, to your company is just your level of enthusiasm. When you talk on these calls, you're so passionate about what you're doing. I feel that on the other end here. And you know, I just want to thank you for, you know, the work that you do with your company. I mean, it's helped me huge. I couldn't do the levels of volume that I'm doing right now without having such a great tool to work from. And you know, just thanks for having me on as a guest, and keep doing an awesome job, because
we are passionate really about helping people, both Frank and I. That's, like I said at the beginning of this, we're really passionate about helping people, and I'm glad that you're getting something out of it, and thanks for the kind words. It keeps us going. But we're going to wrap this thing up, and thanks again for coming on, Jason. You're amazing. And just so everybody knows, Jason came on here, and he was supposed to take his kids to Disneyland. He put it off a little bit so he could do this. He's still going to take them to Disneyland, so don't feel bad. So if you have any referrals for Nanaimo, I know I'm saying that just retarded. I'm sorry, nothing against retarded. How do you say it, Jason?
It's Nanaimo.
Nanaimo. Oh, I'm doing Nanaimo. I'm doing
Vancouver Island.
Vancouver Island. So if anyone has any referrals for that area, Vancouver Island, just Google it. Send them to Jason. He's an amazing agent, and he'll give them top-notch service. And I want to thank Frank and his crew for helping put these on, and we'll see you next time, all right? Thanks a lot. Aloha.
Thanks, everybody.